Tonight, the scathing assessment of customer service at the Canada Revenue Agency.
I called and I called and I called.
No answer, dropped calls, and incorrect info.
I can appreciate the frustration.
The Auditor General's recommendations to improve. And GM ends electric van production in Southern Ontario, laying off more than 1,000 workers.
The anxiety, the stress, the not knowing, the are we next?
The blow for a Canadian industry battered by tariffs. And the incredible Springer dinger that still has Jays fans buzzing.
A swing and a fly ball to left field.
Wishing that this ball was going to go out, and Lord have mercy, it did.
His family's reaction.
I'm pretty confident I woke up the entire neighborhood.
And to get World Series ready, we break down what you need to know to jump on the Jays bandwagon.
From CBC News, this is The National with Chief Correspondent Adrian Arsenault.
Thanks for joining us. The Auditor General is calling out the Canada Revenue Agency tonight, putting data to what so many people tell us they know firsthand, how impossible it can be to get someone on the phone, how difficult it is to get answers, and how long the whole process takes. In a scathing report, one of several issued today, Karen Hogan found callers were waiting way too long to talk to an agent, and when they did, were often given wrong information. The federal government says it is already implementing change. There have been calls for better service at CRA for years, but as Marina von Stackelberg lays out, instead of improving, things seem to be getting worse.
Thank you for calling the Canada Revenue Agency's individual.
Roxanne Bois has been trying to reach the CRA for months to deal with a major error on her last tax return.
I had made a mistake, and so they had frozen all of my tax benefits, saying that I owed something the likes of $20,000. So trying to find the answer to that question was just absolutely impossible. I called and I called and I called.
Her experience is what so many people deal with when they try to contact CRA. A damning report from the federal government's watchdog has found the tax agency is failing Canadians.
I can appreciate the frustration in trying to reach an agent at the Canada Revenue Agency.
The Auditor General has found callers now wait on average more than half an hour. When an agent does pick up, they often give wrong information. Canadians calling about personal income tax were given incorrect answers 83% of the time. The call center also diverted 8.6 million calls last year, so many customers never got to speak with an agent at all. Complaints have soared.
They should expect to reach CRA and get accurate information.
Certainly not the employee's fault.
The union representing call center employees says thousands of jobs have been cut, and training is almost non-existent.
There's a lot of pressure, undue pressure on the employees to reduce the call handling time, to answer calls as fast as possible, but that has an effect on the quality of the service.
Last month, the federal government directed the CRA to come up with a plan to improve within 100 days. It says it's also hired more staff, and wait times are getting better.
Our tools are outdated, and that's what we're pushing, is that adopting technology, there's processes that needs to be improved.
Now, this is not the first time the government has been warned about how bad CRA customer service is. The Auditor General looked into problems with the call center back in 2017. This new report shows things have gotten worse.
And Marina, the federal watchdog is again making recommendations for how to improve things. What are they?
Well, the Auditor General says the CRA should spend more time training and testing its staff on how accurate their answers are. She says the CRA also needs a better system to triage calls. Many people are calling because they are locked out of their online account, and that is clogging up the phone lines.
All right, Marina von Stackelberg in Ottawa. The Auditor General is also finding fault with the state of military housing in this country, highlighting crowded quarters, a backlog of repairs, even toilets that don't work. The government says it is working on the problem.
It's the kind of conditions you and I wouldn't want to live in, and the kind of conditions I don't think we should let our Canadian Armed Forces live in.
We're working right across the country in all 33 of our bases. We've conducted a major assessment of the needs, and we're beginning to operationalize those.
Karen Hogan also found the Canadian Armed Forces isn't recruiting or training enough members, and that the forces don't always know why so many people who apply to join end up dropping out of the process. Well, Canada's battered auto industry took another blow today as GM announced an Ontario plant shut down last spring will not reopen as planned. That's pretty harsh news for more than 1,000 workers. Nisha Patel shows us why it is not great for taxpayers either.
It was launched with fanfare just 3 years ago. Now it's the end of the line for GM's Bright Drop electric delivery van.
We just have not seen demand for these vehicles.
GM temporarily closed the assembly plant in Ingersoll, Ontario in May, laying off 1,200 workers. It was supposed to reopen in November. Now the company says sales for commercial EVs have slowed, and it's scrapping production entirely.
This has nothing to do with tariffs or trade. It's simply a demand and a market-driven response.
Still, U.S. President Donald Trump has cut EV subsidies and slapped tariffs on auto, steel, and aluminum imports.
We're in a situation right now.
Union leaders say it's all hitting hard.
The trade war is designed to surgically destroy the Canadian auto industry, and one of the ways it does that is by choking off investment.
With no model to build, there could be ripple effects throughout the auto supply chain. For more than 1,000 GM workers, the future is unclear.
The anxiety, the stress, the not knowing, the are we next? It is very, very challenging out there.
Just last week, Stellantis shifted some production south of the border as it moved to boost its U.S. business by 50%.
If the USMCA isn't renewed or is drastically changed, we may see much of the Canadian auto sector winding down.
For GM, there are also questions about taxpayer money. The federal and provincial governments spent hundreds of millions of dollars to support retooling the Ingersoll plant.
We'll hold them to account for any support we've given them to develop that model.
The company says it's assessing future opportunities, so the closure may not be permanent. Nisha Patel, CBC News, Toronto.
Canada's inflation rate jumped in September to 2.4%, a number that surprised some economists. As Alison Northcott explains, the rising costs of food and rent are partly to blame.
The grocery store is where many Canadians are feeling rising prices most.
Food prices are absolutely ridiculous. Even trying to maintain any type of social life and pay rent, it just seems like it's almost impossible.
Some find a way to cope with the costs.
Going to discount grocery stores, we went to food banks for a while because we just could not afford it, and this is a 4-person income household.
They have a place where they show you things that are about to expire maybe in 1 or 2 days, and they're like a little less pricey, and I usually go for that.
The Consumer Price Index rose 2.4% year over year in September, driven by grocery prices up 4% and rents up 4.8%.
Food prices are volatile in Canada, and so some of the components that saw upward pressure in September are some of those volatile components. So vegetable prices was a big one.
When it comes to rents, Quebec saw the highest rate of inflation, up 9.6% year after year across the province, while rental markets in other big cities like Toronto have cooled.
It's definitely preventing people being able to make rent once a month.
Montreal housing advocates say it's part of a continuing trend, putting increasing pressure on households.
People are making choices, they're having to choose between paying their rent or buying their groceries. It's a situation that's become really untenable.
Her group says Quebec's rent control laws need to be strengthened to keep rents from climbing even higher.
Last month, the Bank of Canada cut its interest rate, pointing to a weaker economy and a lower risk of rising persistent inflation. These latest numbers will factor into its next interest rate announcement next week. Alison Northcott, CBC News, Montreal.
Toronto is still riding high tonight after that incredible Blue Jays win, sending them to the World Series for the first time in more than 3 decades. Overnight, merch and tickets have become pretty hot commodities. As Tom Stagg tells us, the economic spin-off could generate millions for businesses in the city.
American League champions, with the t-shirts to prove it. Blue Jays fans rushed to scoop up merchandise, with the team now bound for the World Series.
We got a couple of the t-shirts. I'm waiting for a hat, so we'll grab a couple of those and take them home. Christmas is coming.
Right across the country, sports stores like this one in Winnipeg are doing brisk business.
People coming in all the time, buying hats, jerseys, shirts, hoodies, the whole lot pretty much.
Fans logging on to buy World Series tickets encountered tens of thousands ahead of them in the virtual queue. Then resale tickets put online for several $1,000s each. It's been 32 years, after all, since Toronto last won the league pennant.
First time in my life that we're going to the World Series, and it's just great to experience with my kids, and the whole city it's on fire.
After the Jays come from behind Game 7 win at home, knocking out Seattle, the celebrations lasted well into the night, from Toronto to the Dominican Republic, where slugger Vladimir Guerrero Jr. grew up, long before he was popping champagne in a clubhouse.
The job is not finished. We got to go 4 more and just enjoy the moment and come Friday and play the game.
If recent host cities are any indication, the playoffs are likely giving Toronto a multi-million-dollar boost each game, with the economic spin-off potentially bigger than from the Raptors' 2019 championship run.
The Blue Jays have been around for longer, and Major League Baseball, on the whole, is more popular than the NBA.
No surprise, World Series tickets here sold out within minutes. Game 1 goes Friday night with the Jays hosting the defending champion Los Angeles Dodgers. Thomas Dagg, CBC News, Toronto.
The excitement of the Jays' epic win being felt in Ottawa, too.
What a game. I mean, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, I always knew, but I mean, that is clutch. It's absolutely clutch.
Prime Minister Mark Carney pumped as he headed into cabinet. Earlier this month, in the Oval Office, he confidently told Donald Trump, "We're coming down for the World Series." And the Jays made certain of that. A big part of the Blue Jays' comeback, George Springer's go-ahead 3-run homer. Jamie Strachan on the dinger that sent decibels soaring inside the Rogers Centre and beyond as the Jays marched into the World Series.
Down 3-1 in the 7th inning, the end of a magical season appeared imminent. But with 2 base runners on, enter George Springer.
He's in a position to tie the game up and possibly send this Blue Jays crowd into a frenzy.
He did more than tie it.
And a swing and a fly ball to left field. Back goes Rosarena. She's gone!
The 381-foot blast set off a sustained frenzy.
I'm just so happy for everybody here, our fans, our city, our country. This is for them.
As the ball cleared the wall, the Jays' dugout erupted like little leaguers.
When you see players and coaches reacting the way they did, kind of surreal in the moment when you're witnessing a historic swing for the organization.
In the stands, Michael Angeletti saw the ball soaring towards his seat in the left field bleachers.
My baseball-savvy seatmates, who I didn't know because I went to the game solo, they instantly were tracking the ball. I was watching them track it. That gave me a minute to half put on my glove.
When the ball finally landed, chaos. The Springer dinger, instantly part of Blue Jay lore, alongside Roberto Alomar's homer in 1992.
And this game is tied. 1-1 for Tyson.
Jose Batista's bat flip in 2015. And of course, Joe Carter's 1993 World Series winner.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
I can only say one thing to George Springer. Welcome to the 3-run homer club.
This one propelling the Jays back into the World Series for the first time since Joe touched them all.
He's been doing it his whole life, and nothing bigger than that one right there.
Jamie Strachan, CBC News, Toronto.
And later in the show, we'll relive that series-defining moment with Springer's family and how he pushed through injury to hit that homer. Now, in the race for Calgary mayor, the runner-up is asking for a recount because the mayor-elect won by fewer than 600 votes.
Everyone tells you you always write 2 speeches.
But this is the unprecedented third speech that I don't think many of us were expecting. So,
Jeremy Farkas argued council had lost its way on jobs, housing, and safety. Second place, Sonia Sharp, focused on infrastructure and a promise to hire 500 more police officers. She said she will accept the recount results. Incumbent Jyoti Gondek finished third. And in Edmonton, Andrew Knack is the mayor-elect, announced late today after several factors delayed the counting of votes. The three-time councillor won handily with only one serious contender in a field of 13 candidates. Incumbent Mayor Amarjeet Sohi did not run for re-election. Well, there's growing uncertainty tonight for more than 100 property owners in the Metro Vancouver city of Richmond. The city is warning their home ownership may be compromised. At the center of it, a major court ruling in an Aboriginal land claim. Caroline Bargout explains.
This is Williams Road alignment, and that's where we are.
Anna and Paul Wojtowicz have lived in their Richmond, BC home for nearly 40 years, but they just received a letter from the city saying it may be in dispute. The 2-acre property is located in an area the Cowichan tribes say belongs to them.
Quiet word, the way it's worded in that letter, you know, we could be thrown out. Somebody can just come and say, oh, you know.
The letter sent to the owners of 150 properties points to a court ruling recognizing Aboriginal title for part of the land, saying it may compromise the status and validity of your ownership. The Cowichan tribes fought for 11 years to prove they had never relinquished their rights to an area of land by the Fraser River. In August, the Supreme Court of British Columbia ruled they had established Aboriginal title to roughly 800 acres, which also includes land owned by the city and the federal government. The Cowichan maintain they don't want to evict homeowners.
Well, at this point, I don't think that they need to be in a position of fear. The nations have said that they're not interested in, reasserting their occupation of those lands that are owned by private citizens.
However, land owned by the city, the feds, and corporations are a different story. The province says it's appealing.
We are arguing to defend those private property rights of those homeowners.
This lawyer says the solution is to negotiate, not further litigate.
If the BC Court of Appeal further elaborates on this lower court decision, then it will become binding law throughout British Columbia.
The court's decision does not take effect for 18 months to allow the parties to make the necessary arrangements. It's not clear if that will happen now that the case is being appealed. In the meantime, homeowners will remain in limbo until the issue is settled. Caroline Bargout, CBC News, Vancouver.
Prince Andrew is under scrutiny again, days after relinquishing his title.
Virginia Giuffre made it clear that she wanted him to own this story.
What the new posthumous memoir reveals. That's next. And pests are threatening Saskatchewan's wild rice harvest.
It's a big loss.
A very big loss.
How Indigenous communities are coping. And how a Jays fan caught that home run in his own words.
I was like, holy heck, I can do it.
We're back in 2. That is former French President Nicolas Sarkozy making his way to a Paris prison where he will serve a 5-year sentence for campaign finance violations. Once the most powerful person in France, Sarkozy was convicted of a criminal conspiracy to finance his 2007 election campaign using funds from Libya. Well, pressure is building in the UK to formally strip Andrew of his royal title as prince. Today, a memoir was published, written by a woman who publicly accused him of sexual abuse. Chris Brown on what it reveals and the fallout.
It's a 30-room mansion a disgraced prince can still afford. British media wondering how Andrew could pay for it without the salary of a working royal discovered his rent is actually minuscule because he paid up front for the lease years ago. But his lavish lifestyle is an ongoing embarrassment to the royal family and in stark contrast to the hardships revealed by his accuser, Virginia Giuffre, in her memoir. It was published Tuesday, 6 months after she died by suicide.
very powerful in that it's from the grave with so many damaging allegations about Andrew.
Giuffre, who says she met Andrew when she was 17, alleges she had sex with him 3 times, including on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's island, and that she feared she would die a sex slave.
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady.
While Andrew has denied the accusations, this royal correspondent says Giuffre hoped her book would compel Andrew to share everything he knows about Epstein.
Virginia Giuffre made it clear that she wanted him to own this story, to own the narrative, and to be upfront about it. And of course, he hasn't been.
The pressure is also intensifying on King Charles. He's set to meet the Pope this week, and the pair will pray at the Sistine Chapel, the first time a reigning monarch has done that in 500 years. But Andrew's controversies are threatening to overshadow the moment. On Friday, Andrew announced he would voluntarily no longer use royal titles, such as the Duke of York, but some feel there should have been more from the king.
So it should have been far more ruthless about the whole thing.
British parliamentarians are being urged to take action against Andrew too, to look into his mansion lease and possibly to formally strip him of his royal titles. Chris Brown, CBC News, London.
Jays fans are riding high going into the World Series. The Springer family, maybe more than most.
He's built for moments like this.
George Springer's father and sister's reaction to that epic homer. Plus,
I like to think the Blue Jays are Los Angeles' worst nightmare.
jumping on the Jays bandwagon, what you need to know to catch up. And BC's newest nurses from south of the border.
Trump came into office. It was like everything turned.
How the province attracted those looking to leave. The National breaks down the stories shaping our world. Next. This century-old kayak from the Western Arctic is one of several Indigenous artifacts set to return to Canada. Sources confirm the Vatican will give them back by the end of the year. Catholic missionaries sent thousands of items to Rome, many from Indigenous communities in the early 1900s. An official announcement is expected in the coming weeks. In northern Saskatchewan, wild rice harvesters are calling for help as an invasive pest threatens their livelihoods. Alexander Silberman shows us how researchers are trying to buy them time.
On remote northern lakes in Saskatchewan's boreal forest, Phyllis and Tommy Smith are ready to harvest their dense patch of wild rice, a traditional food for Cree communities here for generations.
Right here, and here's another one.
But these pests, known as rice worms, are threatening to destroy their livelihood.
You depend on rice for a lot of things, so it's pretty devastating.
Smith and his wife gathered just 20 bags last harvest. The average before the rice worms was 400.
It's a big loss.
A very big loss, yeah. You almost feel like there's no use for me having a harvesting boat.
Wild rice is a major economic driver in northern Saskatchewan villages. A good harvest can bring in as much as $100,000 for a family. But at the local rice weighing station, there's growing concern as these insects eat away harvesters' income.
These worms are getting to be a big problem.
Lionel Smith says the bugs are killing so much of his rice, he's decided not to harvest at all.
20-30% of your crop is damaged.
That's a lot of income.
Yeah, yes it is.
Researchers are now testing a type of trap using pheromones to attract the insects away from the rice. Experts don't know exactly why the worms are making their way north from Manitoba and the U.S. They believe forest fires could be one driver.
You get new growth, and then it provides kind of an opportunity to the rice worm moths.
Some are considering leaving the industry.
Right now, is the future of wild rice under threat?
I would say yes. We almost want to give up.
Harvesters in this region are trying to gather whatever rice is left behind and say the search for a solution to save their livelihoods can't come soon enough. Alexander Silberman, CBC News, near Pinehouse, Saskatchewan.
Now it's time to dig deeper into the stories shaping our world. White House changes to U.S. healthcare policy, prompting some workers to move to Canada.
I just felt like we were headed the wrong way.
Why some doctors and nurses are heading north. But first. The homer heard across Canada. George Springer's Game 7 winner paved the way for a long-awaited return. The Blue Jays in the World Series. George Springer's dad, George Jr., and his sister Lena are with us right now. So congrats, you two. We need to get right to it, to the home run. Can you take us inside your heads watching George at bat, and then that happens?
I kind of felt, he's going to get a dribbler. He's going to get maybe a double in the gap. Maybe he'll get a pop fly, and at the very least, we'll get one run in. And then the ball was hit off his bat. And I just leaned back on my right leg as hard as I possibly could, wishing that this ball was going to go out, and Lord have mercy, it did. I can't even begin to tell you what a momentous moment that was.
No kidding. You sound so calm, but I'm kind of imagining that in that moment, your face may have been saying other things. Like, Lena, what was your face doing?
I was actually hiding, to be honest. I was watching the game from home, and I remember just sending a text to my sister saying, deep breath, he's got this, he's built for this moment. And as soon as he made contact with that ball, I'm pretty confident I woke up the entire neighborhood, because it was one of those things where it's something that I envisioned him doing back when he was 7, 10 years old in the backyard, and, reliving those moments during wiffle ball. So it was pretty incredible.
You're the softball coach, Lena, and I would imagine that, I don't know if you had a gut instinct that this is what was going to happen, but he made it pretty clear that he sometimes listens to you. So I'm kind of curious, what do you want him to hear from you in terms of heading into the Dodgers?
I just want him to stay within himself. I am the youngest of the three of us, and I wouldn't say that he listens to me when it comes to baseball and softball. But he's meant for these moments, and I just want him to continue to be himself, because everyone gets to see the best version of him every day when he's himself. And so this is the fun part. Getting to do it on the national stage.
George, is that what he said to you last night? I'm so curious what he said to you about that moment when you met him.
Well, I don't know if it's so much what he said as opposed to his body language and his facial expressions. It said everything to me, because George is never one to focus on himself. I think he was glad that the team got the win, and that he was able to contribute to that effort. And beyond that, it's not just the team, right? Yeah. This is a very unusual organization in the sense that it's the only professional baseball team in an entire country. And I've always felt, I know our family has always felt, extremely welcome in Toronto, extremely welcome in Canada. And I think he felt it was just so reassuring and gratifying that not only did this elevate the team to the World Series, but it elevated the city of Toronto and elevated the country and Canada in general.
You're one of us now, right? You know that.
Well, listen, I've got my Tim Hortons coffee in my kitchen, so I do feel a kinship.
Right on. Even people who I think found themselves kind of newly minted baseball fans, right, were rooting for George after that terrible moment when he was hit in the knee.
Whoa, hit him right in the knee. A two-seamer that ran way in on him. He had nowhere to go, and he is in a lot of pain.
George, I think you were in the park in Seattle when that happened. What did you hear around you in that moment?
It was pretty ugly. I think sometimes that we get caught up as fans in a way that doesn't represent the true humanity of each person. I mean, the folks on the other side, they're our opponents, they're not our enemies. And the idea that you would react so negatively by booing him, by gleefully cheering on his injury. I've never witnessed anything like that.
Is he okay?
Well, he'll tell you he's okay.
Now, the
He's a
kids don't
warrior.
often tell their parents the truth about how they feel, right?
Oh, and he's no different. He trust me, he's no different. I mean, I can ask him how he's doing, and I'll really never get a true sense of his condition. You know, obviously he was hurting last night, and he found a way to get it done. Not all of us are built like that. He's very unique in that regard. So, God bless him. God bless him.
Last thought, Springers. I gather there's a wedding coming soon, Lena. That might be conflicting timing-wise with a certain World Series. Are you going to have words with your brother about your moment?
You know what? Absolutely not. This wedding was completely planned around the Blue Jays making the postseason. And so I'm just excited that we get to celebrate him the entire week before. And when it comes to the wedding, that's the afterthought. We've got 4 games to go win.
Perfect. He better show up.
He better.
Listen, George, Lena, thank you so much. Enjoy what is coming.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. The excitement of this Blue Jays postseason run has been infectious, making unlikely fans out of many who, let's just say, weren't big baseball fans before. So if you're just jumping on the Blue Jays bandwagon now, as we wait for the Dodgers to clear customs, Ashley Fraser put together a helpful baseball need to know.
So the Blue Jays, they did it. They made it to the World Series. And if you're just jumping on the bandwagon now, let's get you up to speed.
Here comes the 3-2.
As the only Canadian team, how big of a deal is this for fans?
There are many people who have never seen this team play in the World Series. There are generations of people who have never witnessed this and are about to.
The last time they were in the World Series, it was in 1993. It was one of the biggest moments in Canadian sports history.
Way back then, the Blue Jays had built themselves essentially from about 1983 onward to be a competitive team.
Now, it certainly feels like this all came out of nowhere. So what's the reason for this turnaround?
This was a last place team at the end of last year. And about that time, the organization pinpointed areas where they needed to get better.
And Springer, the bat. And a swing and a fly ball to left field.
Likely the most valuable player on the team throughout the year, and hits the decisive home run in Game 7 of the American League Championship Series. Every single player at some point has made a vital contribution to winning, and that's why they find themselves in the World Series.
So the Blue Jays will face off with the LA Dodgers. They won the World Series last year.
I like to think the Blue Jays are Los Angeles's worst nightmare because of the way the Blue Jays play baseball. They are relentless. They never give up.
And there's one player from the other team that you're going to hear a lot about, Shohei Ohtani.
There is no doubt he's the best player in the world. And it's fascinating that 2 years ago, he was rumored to be on an airplane to Toronto when he was a free agent. And the idea was that maybe the Blue Jays were going to sign him. Well, he'll be on an airplane, all right, to Toronto to play them in the World Series.
Okay, Friday night, the Blue Jays have got your attention along with the rest of the country. What should you be looking out for?
You just never know who's going to be the star of each particular game. Who's going to be the one to carry this club in the World Series? Will it be Vladdy? Will it be Springer? Could it be young Trey Savage? It could be a handful of all of them. That's the unpredictability of this Blue Jays team. There are people throughout Canada that love this baseball team. And the best part of it is that the players have acknowledged that they are very, very aware that they're representing the country and not just the city of Toronto.
As Ashley mentioned, the World Series will begin in Toronto on Friday night. Home field advantage for the Jays because during the regular season, they won one more game than the Dodgers. Baseball uses a 2-3-2 model. So if 7 games are necessary, the first 2 games are in Toronto, then 3 in LA, then the final 2 back in Canada. Coming up, seismic shifts in U.S. government policy are leaving some healthcare workers feeling vulnerable.
Seeing as I was the only Black person in my role, it was like, okay, if they start making cuts, will you be it?
How Canada may gain from an American healthcare brain drain. Next. U.S. healthcare workers facing job cuts, changes in vaccine policy, and immigration rates.
Trump came into office. It was like everything turned just so vulgar.
Now, some nurses have made a dramatic move north.
That's it. That's where I'm going. Canada. I'm going to be a Canadian.
She's not alone. Dozens of U.S. healthcare workers have already left for BC, a province actively recruiting them. Lindsay Duncombe introduces us to some early additions to Canada's healthcare brain gain.
Right here, and then make a right.
It's Brandy Fry's first day of work in the emergency room at Nanaimo General Hospital.
I'm so excited to be here. So relieved.
She's a nurse. She left the United States to escape Donald Trump.
Good morning, Brandy.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Oh,
So, how are you feeling?
I'm nervous, but I'm ready.
What are the things that you're worried about?
That I'll be too pushy, or that I'll be too friendly, or I'll be too
American?
Too American. Yeah, I want to get the Canadian accent down. You know, I want to belong here.
So taking Tylenol is not good. All right, I'll say it. It's not good.
In the months since Trump was elected, much has changed for American healthcare workers.
We are the sickest country in the world.
Job cuts, changes in vaccine policy, and fear for many of delivering care in the face of immigration raids.
If you want to care for others in a place that cares about you, come to BC.
The government of British Columbia, desperate for doctors and nurses, has targeted unhappy Americans with ads like this. Even taking a food truck to hospitals in the Pacific Northwest, free snacks with a side of opportunity.
The province of British Columbia says more than 140 American doctors, nurses, and nurse practitioners have accepted offers to work here, and it expects that number to grow.
Trump came into office. It was like everything turned just so vulgar and ugly. See here what this is.
Brandy Fry is among the first of the healthcare workers to make the move. She'd been working at the same hospital outside Los Angeles for 18 years.
I've worked in labor and delivery, I've worked in the emergency department, in trauma, and then I've done open hearts. Okay. It's all my little boys.
She's 55.
These are the boys now.
She left behind 3 grown children, a granddaughter, and a big house.
So I'm gonna be gone from 6:30.
But she's a Democrat and a single mom. When she saw a posting about jobs in Canada on LinkedIn,
what did you guys practice today?
It was her 13-year-old son she was thinking about.
And I just felt like we were headed the wrong way, for sure. And I started looking at my son, Bruce. I didn't want him to have to grow up in a world where there was just such a narrow perspective.
So you hear about the opportunities for nurses in Canada.
Yes.
What was your reaction when you saw that post?
That's it. That's where I'm going. Canada. I'm going to be a Canadian, you know, and get the band. Elbows up.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd. We've been watching the news. We know it's getting worse down there.
It's not just government recruiting healthcare workers.
Our kids dodge homework, not live rounds. Our healthcare's not barbarian. We are the very model of the modern-day Canadian.
Former CBC radio host Todd Maffin is leading a grassroots campaign to bring more healthcare workers to Nanaimo.
It really is the community has come together to just give these people advice.
A lot of people in Canada are liking becoming our beautiful, cherished 51st state.
Several months ago, when Donald Trump began threatening to annex Canada, and Canadians responded by canceling trips and buying local, Maffin had an idea. He invited American neighbors north in a show of cross-border solidarity.
I had thought that for them coming up, it would just be kind of a fun weekend. They'd eat some Nanaimo bars, they'd want to see plane, they'd look at some whales, they'd go home. But it was clear that it was much more meaningful for a lot of them. Some of them came up and hugged me or my wife and wept. They were so moved by the opportunity to see that there was a safe place for them and their family to go to in a way that could also help Canada.
So he and his wife set up an online community for Canada-curious healthcare workers.
And it's now busy. There are 1,200 people, mostly American healthcare workers in there. Nurses, phlebotomists, doctors, surgeons, all grouped into different categories, all looking at different regions. If you are an American healthcare worker and you've been thinking about moving to Canada,
One of Maffin's TikTok videos caught the attention of Henrietta Addo.
And I was like, okay, this is kind of cute. And it said, for physicians and nurses, if you're interested, contact this recruiter.
At the time, Addo was analyzing hospital data in Michigan, and she was worried about losing her job as the Trump administration cut diversity, equity, and inclusion programs.
And seeing as I was the only Black person in my role, it was like, okay, if they start making cuts, will you be it? You know, and I was like the newest hire from like 2 years ago. Will you be it?
Did you feel more vulnerable because you're Black?
1,000%. 1,000%. I'm excited. It's a new adventure, a new learning.
The paperwork took 5 months. Then Addo and her boyfriend drove across the country to her new home by the ocean and a job in the emergency room at Nanaimo General. She says she feels welcome.
I think as we're here, we're seeing more and more Black people, and it's great, but I haven't had any uncomfortable situations here. People see you, they ask you where you're from, and they get excited that you're here. So it's just kind of been, I feel like an ordinary person here, really.
Both Addo and Fry expect the work will be challenging. Nanaimo has a busy ER. It's a trauma center. There's an opioid crisis, and there aren't enough nurses.
I've gotten calls every single day from their automated AI system. Here's some shifts. Would you like some shifts? Would you like to work some shifts? We've got some shifts for you. I'm like,
You haven't even started yet.
No, I haven't started yet.
Do you think Canada can live up to your high expectations?
I think it already has. Just look at, I mean, the people have been so welcoming. People, every time they find out I'm a nurse, they're like, thank you so much.
Even before her first day, she got this thank you card at the hospital.
The very best to you and your beautiful son.
It's from someone in Toronto who saw her post online about moving to Canada.
Really moved me, actually.
Fry's first day went well.
Hey, Randy, how was it?
It was great.
Yeah.
It was really awesome. I really enjoyed the staff and felt really welcoming, and it's great.
You must be tired.
Kind of exhausted mentally, yeah.
Tired, but confident she made the right choice to leave the United States.
It just solidifies that this is where I belong. Feels good. Feels really good.
One day down, a whole new life to go.
As for compensation, the nurses told us they make a little bit less in Canada, but when factoring in what they paid for health and car insurance in the States, they say the cost of living here is comparable. Well, coming up, the Jays fan who caught Springer's game-winning home run.
I brought my glove for the first time ever, and I did it.
Why he says the moment gave him superpowers. Next. I'm going to take a chance that you might recognize this face. This is Michael Angeletti, who caught Springer's game-winning home run at the Rogers Centre last night. So Angeletti went into this game with a mission to catch a home run and did exactly that. How? Tonight, his catch is our moment.
I told everybody I was going to do it. I was going to catch the home run ball. I bought the single seat in the power alley. I brought my glove for the first time ever, and I did it.
And look at that fan. You got a Springer.
The reaction was so visceral because I was like, holy heck. I can do it. It became like a superpower for a second. I achieved what I determined to do. It's followed by a quick blackout after. I almost missed the moment because I was texting my cousin group chat to stop texting me, I'm at the game. So many people were happy around me. And just being absolved in that happiness was great. Toronto getting to the World Series and breaking through a lot of the noise that's out there. To me, that's what this ball is about. I'm very excited to welcome the world to Toronto. the World Series Fall Classic.
Oh, he is loving this. So Michael says he still has the ball and that whatever the Jays or Springer want to do with that ball, absolutely they can do it. He has a small request. He would like World Series tickets, which does not seem unreasonable. From all of us at The National, thank you for being with us. I'm Adrienne Arsenault. Take care.